So good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us. I am happy to see you all. Just wanted to let you know a little bit about myself. My name is Patrick Yepez. I'm a fellow investor, and I provide marketing services for a lot of clients, the Dream Big marketing services. And I also own various SaaS products and digital products that I sell to real estate investors through Dream Big digital products and Dream Big marketing services. But that's a little bit about me. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, David Olds. David is a gentleman. Hi, David. A gentleman who's been a very, very successful investor. He was a coach for many years. I know of David as a coach, but now he's moved on to a really great endeavor, and he's moved on to fulfill a need which is so desperately important for real estate investors, which is the transaction coordination. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and have David introduce himself, and he'll talk a little bit about, the importance of transaction coordination and the masterful way that he's built out his program and his services. So with that said, David, it's a pleasure to see you. Good morning to you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna flip all this over here for a minute. But yeah, Patrick, thank you so much. I've been an investor for, like Patrick, we were comparing notes the other day. I'm at 22, I'm coming up on 23 years, which does seem like a ridiculous amount of time to be doing anything, right? Maybe I should be retiring and getting my little gold Seiko watch. But now, things are really amazing. We own ezREIclosings, which we're going to talk about here a little bit, and we're the nation's largest virtual transaction coordination company. And we'll definitely dive into what that is and how we help, clients just really double, triple, quadruple their sales volume all over the country. But the way that I started was in Florida. I was an investor in Central Florida. I went to the Central Florida Real Estate Investors Network, or REIA, and that's where I kind of got my start. And I started out flipping houses, just one at a time. My wife and I, we both had full-time jobs at the time. And then when the end of the world happened in 2009 and 10, the big market crash, we moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And there was no rehabbing because, of course, investors were not able to sell houses to anybody, right? Because the banks weren't lending. So we had to get started in wholesaling, which is where a lot of people, kind of get their feet off the ground. And we did well, but there was a point where we struggled and we couldn't get past a certain number of deals per month. And I like to talk about this because most people don't talk about the problems that they had, the struggles that they had. Everybody just wants to talk about, the Rolexes and the Lambos and all that type of stuff. But, the problem that I had is something that really the more investors I talk to, I find it's more and more common. And that was, I suffered from this kind of hustler mentality, which, hustle is great and it's a season, but it's not really a lifestyle. But, the hustling and the entrepreneurial mindset, where I had to do everything myself, right? Nobody could do anything as good as me. And I was the only one that was smart enough, and, all of these different things. And because I was afraid to let go of anything, right? And trust anybody else to do, a part of my business, it really capped me on how far I could really grow. And, listen, 3-4 deals a month at, $10,000 a piece wasn't terrible. But I wanted to get, to be doing 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 and 30. And, eventually we got up to doing 40 deals a month. And the thing that I realized that I had to come to terms with was there is somebody else out there who is better at certain parts of the business than me. Like, I was amazing and am very good at certain things, right? Talking and marketing. But, I'm probably not the greatest guy to be running PPC. I should not be doing bookkeeping. Right? Clearly, I should not be doing bookkeeping or property management, or, in the case of what we're going to talk about today, transaction coordination and the closings. Not that I don't understand it, but my time is best spent building my business, not doing administrative costs. So with that, we'll kind of go ahead and get started. And, you know, some of the questions that I had back then when I was struggling, maybe some of the same ones that you have today, right? Like, why am I not making as much money as everybody else? I'm online, I'm seeing that these people are doing, you know, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month. Like, I remember back when I was getting started, I couldn't even fathom doing $100,000 a month in real estate or wholesale or transactions or any even flips. But why am I not making as much as them? Like, what am I doing wrong, right? What is the secret to, you know, working less and making more, right? We all hear about that constantly, right? Even my dad used to tell me, work smart, not hard. But here I was, you know, I'm working 14 hours on a good day, 16, 17 hours on a bad day. And, you know, Sundays were my half day. I only would work 8 or 9 hours. So what was the difference between them and me? Why was I spending so much time just literally living at the office, trying to do everything, where I saw all these other guys are, you know, they're out on the golf course literally at 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. I'm like, how do you do that and still grow your company, right? And who can show me how to take some of this work off of my plate so that I can, you know, work smart instead of hard? And then ultimately, you know, all of us want to grow our business to some level. You know, you may not want to do 40 or 50 deals a month, but you probably want to do more than what you're doing. That's why you're here today. And how can I do that? How can I scale, right? How can I grow my revenue and keep my expenses low? Because that's the trick, right? That's really the whole game in business, right? How do I do more sales but keep the expenses low? Because the difference between those two things is actually our profit. So what I want to share with you guys today really is very, very simple, how we can help you grow your business faster. And if you hang out for just a minute, we'll show you how we've been able to do that for, you know, bunches and bunches of companies. And then, you know, an interesting thing, an interesting statistic that I learned, you know, maybe about a year and a half ago, Patrick, was that between 40 and 50% of all wholesale deals that are put under contract never close. That's an astonishing number, right? So if you put 10 properties under contract, only 5 of them are going to close. That's a 50% fail rate. So where do you think that comes from? Like, what do you think happens there? Well, certainly they're just priced too high, right? Maybe it's a comping problem, something you didn't know. But the vast majority of them are title issues, right? Because what do we do as investors? We go out and we search for sellers who are in distress, who have problems, right? So maybe it's death, divorce, taxes, bad tenant, water shut off, right? All of those different things. And that's amazing because the more problems that we can find and solve, the lower price we can get. But conversely, on the other side of the table, what do we tell our buyers? We tell our buyers, hey, Mr. Buyer, I'm going to guarantee you clear title and proration of taxes. Fantastic. But those two things don't go together, right? What you have to do is you have to be able to solve all of those title problems. And sometimes it can be very simple, but other times it can be 32 errors and judgments that have to be cleared off. And those are the deals where you get the biggest spreads, right? So I was losing deals, you know, at the closing table. So I certainly had to figure that out. But how do you focus on the parts of the business that you enjoy, right? We all got into this business for a reason. We read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We jumped on a webinar like this. We heard somebody talking about real estate riches. And without a doubt, real estate will give you a life that you can only dream of, right? If you do it correctly. I mean, for me, I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world and do some amazing things and speak in front of some incredible audiences. But, you know, I want to focus on the parts of the business that I love doing, not bookkeeping. You know, I've almost flunked out of college because I couldn't figure out how to do accounting 101. It was the worst thing ever, right? That is not my area of expertise. I should not be doing Google pay-per-click ads. I don't know if you guys have ever been into the backside of Google, but it's terrible to try to figure that stuff out, right? And there was a time when I wasn't good at closing deals and understanding the myriad of just title problems. You know, that probably wasn't the best place for me to spend my time because I want to enjoy my business, right? I want to enjoy coming to work every day. And what you'll find is that, you know, when you spend your time doing the parts of the business that you enjoy, that's when you see that really rapid growth. So how can we help you? Let's kind of jump right into it. As a client for ezREIclosings, we handle all of the tasks for your closings, right? Everything. Literally from the moment you get your contract signed, you hand that off to us, bam, we're in, right? You're out, we're in. It's kind of like a relay race. Once you hand that baton over to me, one of our coordinators is going to call your seller. Hey, Mrs. Smith, this is David. I'm working with Patrick on your property over here at 123 Main Street. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to be your point of contact from here all the way to closing. So you're out. Patrick, you go get your next deal, you go sell your deal, right? We're going to help you spin the wheel of your business faster and faster. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to need to collect some information for you for the title company so I can get you paid just as quickly as possible, right? Because what are we doing? We're always dangling that carrot out there to get them on the road to, to getting paid. So what we'll do is, depending upon the situation, we have checklists that have checklists, right? After doing, I'll show you in a minute here, thousands and thousands of deals, we understand what title companies are going to need. We have our own in-house title company that will also close these deals because we want to get you paid just as quickly as possible, right? That's what we all want. We have time compression. From the moment you get that property under contract, we want to get you paid just as quick as we can. So we're always focused on how do we move your deal through our process faster and faster. And then as you grow, of course, we have all kinds of different plans that will help you grow. And we see that, and it's very exciting for us to see companies that were doing 1 or 2 deals a month when they started to now they're doing 10 to 15 deals, right? We can do it for you at an incredibly reduced price. We are literally, over the course of a year, less than you would pay the fry girl at McDonald's to get really just the highest level of expertise working on your deals. Because that's what we do. That's the only thing that we do here in our office. All of our coordinators are here. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but every person comes in with a single goal of helping you close out your deals. And then just imagine a world where you have your time back. You have your time to do the things that you got into real estate to do, right? And everybody's different. We all have a different why. Some people got into, to raise money for charity. Some people got in so that they could sleep late and drive their kid to school, right? Other people, wanted to travel, and other people, maybe you want to pick up your kid at 2 o'clock every day from school, whatever it is. But our whole mission is we want to not only help you do more deals and make more money, but have that freedom back, right? To, either invest in your business or to go do other things. So I've moved this up a little bit just to show you. In 2023, because people are always like, can you do my type of deals? Well, sure. In 2023, we did over 2,200 files. That's a lot of files. That's more than most people will do in 10 lifetimes. That's an incredible amount. And it was kind of a slow year. We're going to actually double that this year. We did over $208 million in closings for our clients and generated almost $29 million in profits for them. So the question is, can you do this? Of course we can. We do this for some of the largest investors, big name investors in the country, the people that you see on YouTube and Instagram and Snapadoodle and all those things every single day. And, an interesting statistic is our clients' average assignment fee is $31,000, a little over $31,000 per deal, where the national average is $18,643. So if you're going to write something down, I want you to write that number down because we're going to come back to it, $18,643. So if you're doing deals, that's a great number, kind of a little barometer to see, where am I at? Am I above or below average, right? Because that's just the average. But why are our clients doing 31,000? It's a good question. I'm not buying deals for them and I'm not selling deals for them. So what do you think it is? This is what happens when you have your time back. This is what happens when you get 30% of your time back and you can start to invest it in your business, right? Now you're not chasing down death certificates and worrying about, what do I do with this for this lost trust document? And, oh my God, there's 13 heirs. I've got to get them all lined up and talk to them, right? That's administrative work. Sure, can you do it? Yeah, we can all go out and change our own oil too. I don't know how many of you actually do that unless you really love changing your oil, because that's not where your time is best spent, right? Your time is best spent doing your marketing, talking to sellers, talking to buyers, doing the deals. So that's what happens. And I'll show you in a minute here, what that looks like when companies start using us and spending time in their business. The growth is just absolutely unbelievable. So I know usually after I show that, a lot of people are like immediately, hey, I want to book a call with you guys. So if you'd like to, I've got some more stuff here, but we opened up our salespeople to have some extra time to make some calls. So
that's going to his registration page.
We'll fix that for you.
Yeah.
So what are some of the problems that we can help you solve, right? Opportunities, lost opportunities and missed deals. So what does that mean? Remember, we talked about, 40 to 50% of your deals are going to die. So what used to happen to me when I was first starting out is I would take a I would I would take my contracts down to the title company and I'd be like, bam, drop it on the table. And my attorney would look at it. His name was Jeremy, but we nicknamed him Dr. No, because I felt like one out of every 2 or 3 contracts, he'd be like, oh, David, you can't close this one. That's going to need probate. Oh, this one's going to need super quiet title. Oh, this one's got, a bunch of dead people, right? It was all these problems, right? All these obstacles to getting my deal closed. And what I was doing is I was really just spending a ton of time doing legwork for the title company, because that's essentially what a transaction coordinator is, right? Title companies don't solve these problems for you. They're like, hey, Bob, here's your list of title problems. Go figure it out. Go talk to the seller. Go solve these problems. Where's the death certificate? Where's the divorce decree? I need their last 5 of their social. I need, whatever it is, right? The way I describe it to people is like walking through quicksand, right? It's every step is it's just another problem. And what happens when you're spending all your time doing that stuff, right? Instead of talking to sellers, talking to buyers, and working on your marketing, well, now you're doing really administrative work, right? And what happens if you're doing that? Well, you're not answering new calls, you're not talking to new leads, you're not talking to buyers who want your deal, you're doing administrative stuff, right? So lost opportunity and missed deals is absolutely huge, right? One of the biggest things that we hear from our clients after they start is, oh my God, I didn't realize how much time this was actually taking me, right? So, you're spending a ton of time fixing those problems. Some of these deals are complicated and you don't know how to close them. It doesn't mean that they're not closable, right? It doesn't mean that they're not something that you can close, but because you don't have that expertise, right? And you're working on problems that kind of they're outside your area of excellence, right? Like they're not closing. So you don't want that, right? Also, where we can help you is there's 50 different states, right? Some states are attorney states, some are title states, some are abstract states, some are escrow states, some like California, or some combination of the two. And there's 50 different sets of rules for all these different states. They all do things just a little different, right? So if you're in not North Carolina, I'm sorry, New York, it's probably going to take you 90 days to get your deal closed. If you're in Tennessee, we might be able to get it closed in 10 to 12 days, right? So understanding all of these different states is really important. And then beyond 50 states, there's 3,100 counties that all love to do stuff just a little bit different, right? Birmingham's got this really wild water shut off lien release thing that if you don't know you have to have, it will delay your closing. And sometimes if it delays your closing, now you're outside your closing date and your deal's dead, right? So understanding all of that stuff, which we do, is very, very important. But the other problem is, sort of what I talked about at the very beginning, is you're trying to build this productive, team that can get it done at the end of the day, right? And there was a time when, I didn't understand how to do transactions. I didn't know how to do Google PPC. I didn't know how to do bookkeeping. How was I going to bring somebody in and train them on how to do something that I didn't even understand how to do? Well, we have a solution for that. So what we want to talk about here is how you can, elevate your business, right? A painless path to elevating your business up to the next level, right? How you can do that today. How you can use our expertise to help run your business, right? Like just to get the wheel of your business running faster and faster and faster, and ultimately getting more freedom while having a higher sense of control. Because I'll talk to you a little bit about what our coordinators do and how they can really come in and partner with you and work at just an incredibly high level. So for us, this is the question you should ask. Why should I trust you? Like, of all the people out there, really, there's nobody that does this on the scale that we do, but why would you want to trust us? Well, for 20 years, this is all that I have done personally, right? I've been a real estate investor. But when we started this company, the company was really started for me and a couple of my really, close friends who were mega nationwide wholesalers. And, what I wanted to make sure was that, the services that we provided were at an incredibly high level for everybody, whether you were the mega wholesaler or the person who was doing one deal a month, that we were going to take all of this off of your plate, right? So we knew that our coordinators had to be experienced in all types of deals because you guys are real estate investors and you do all types of deals, right? Every deal is not a wholesale deal. Sometimes it's sub two, sometimes it's novation, sometimes it's a wrap, right? Deals can be different because it depends on the seller and what their problem is and what the exit strategy is to help them solve their problem. So we wanted to make sure that all of our coordinators are certified, that they can handle all types of transactions, and then that we could operate in all 50 states, which was a big undertaking. I'm here to tell you, like, to be able to operate and be licensed in all 50 states was a big deal. But, you know, it's important because I know now, like, the world is different than it was when Patrick and I started, right? When we were driving for dollars, putting sticky notes on doors and a couple bandit signs out there. Now, technology, it's very easy to bounce around from city to city to city all over the country because we've got, you know, just frankly, all this technology, right? So we didn't have that, but I know that you do, and you should be working in the markets where you can get the biggest spreads, right? So all 50 states, all transaction types, all of our team members are here in our office, right? We didn't want to have that culture while we could do it cheaper, right? By hiring either virtual assistants or letting people work from home. We wanted everybody to have that culture where they come into the office every day. And it's kind of like a hive mind, right? They're all here collaborating and solving problems and getting your deals closed. That's all that we do, right? That's their whole mission in life. And we've done over 3,500 transactions total, and that'll probably jump to a little over almost 6,000 this year because we're growing so quickly. But again, the only thing that we do, as Patrick said, we don't do coaching, we don't wholesale anymore. Everybody on our team is focused on getting your deals closed. So, like we talked about earlier, I want you to do more deals, right? If you're doing 0 deals, I want to get you to 1 or 2. If you're doing 1 or 2, I want to get you to 5 or 6. If you're at 5 or 6, you want to get to 10, we're here to help you do that by giving you back your time. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute here. But do more deals and make more money, right? Because that's what happens. More deals, average deals, $18,643. That's what we're going to do. Do more deals, make more money, and have more freedom, right? So freedom to go on vacation, freedom to work harder in your business. That's up to you, right? I have some clients who, you know, take off to Puerto Rico for 3 months. I've got clients who are in Europe right now that know that their deals are getting closed and they don't have to worry about the time difference and calling their seller, calling their buyer, calling the title company. They just trust that once that's handed over to us, it's going to get closed because we want you to enjoy your business, right? I want you to do the parts of your business that are fun and energizing, because if not, this can be a terrible business. You know, if you're spending your time doing things that you just hate doing every day, you're going to sooner or later, you're going to be like, oh, I don't even want to do this anymore. And then you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't work. It's not working for me. Why are other people making more money? Why am I struggling? Why am I working 16 hours a day? We don't want that, but we do have a proven system that works over and over and over again. And we've done it with hundreds of companies. So Sam is a great example of that. He came to us, young guy, very aggressive, great wholesaler, you know, loved to be out talking to sellers, you know, doing the things, very coachable. But what was the problem that he had? He hated paperwork, hated it. In fact, he was absolutely terrible at it, which most of us are, right? Because entrepreneurs, we have a very similar, you know, personality type. We're the let's jump out of the airplane and build the parachute on the way down. And that personality type is really great with going out and taking action. Terrible at paperwork, right? So most of us, our bookkeepers hate us, our accountants hate us, our attorneys hate us, right? The closing company hates us because we're just inconsistent. We're not great at getting them what they need to do their business. And, you know, Sam here really grew his business and has lots of nice things to say that, you know, Easy made it a much smoother process for them by eliminating a lot of that paperwork and the administrative tasks. And he was able to focus on his business. And now Sam's moved into apartment complexes and is doing all kinds of really cool things. But he couldn't have gotten there if, you know, he couldn't build up that capital that he raised while he was doing all the wholesaling business. So, you know, Sam, you, me, again, we've all got the same problems, right? It's all the same challenge. Challenges is a better word than problems. But, you know, if you're working virtual or you're bouncing around, or even if you're in your own market, you know, finding investor-friendly title companies, because we know not all title companies are the same, right? Let's be honest. Most title companies, they don't want to deal with us as investors. we bring the crazy, as they love to say, right? We bring the hard files, right? Dead people, some goofy sellers, if we've been doing this for a little bit, some of our sellers are a little bit crazy. And that leads to, really complicated title issues. And that's frankly just not always the best business for title companies. So we want to make sure that all of your files are being closed at, either our in-house title company, or if it's a place where we're not licensed, that, it's one of our partner title companies that can get your deal done. Because the last thing you want to do is randomly flip through the yellow pages, pick a title company out, send them your contract, and then 2 weeks before closing, they're like, oh, whoopsie, we don't do novations. We don't do this strategy. We don't do that. I don't understand what this is. This seems very scammy. And now your seller, gets nervous and bails out, or your buyer walks on you, right? So good title companies that can solve the complicated title issues. You want somebody that can coordinate all of that, right? We did one, literally, it was 18 people just last week. 18 people. That's like herding cats on crack. Let me just tell you. To try to get them all in the same place at the same time, or a notary to them on the same day, so that your deal can get closed. And that's what we do for you. We're like the wizard working behind the curtain, not the Wizard of Oz. Like, magic happens when our team comes together to get your deals over the finish line. I'm not saying we can close every single one. There are some that are just so messed up that you do need a super quiet title. You do need the bankruptcy. You do need the probate. But our team will be there with you through that process, and we'll walk your seller through it as very best we can. But, we talked about local laws and regulations. It can be all over the map. And you know what? Laws are changing rapidly right now. So you want somebody on your team that understands what's going on in all the different states, and making sure that we're frankly trying to keep you out of trouble, because it's very easy right now to do the wrong thing and be in the wrong place. And you definitely want some guidance, right? If you want to go into a new market, give us a call and say, hey, how is Illinois? Is this a place I should be? Well, here's what we can tell you. Here's what the average assignments fees are. Here's your time to close. Do you really want to be there? Or is there a better market you can be in, right? So we can definitely help you with all of that, as well as recording memos and notices of contracts. But ultimately, what we want to stop, right? We want to be like the little Dutch boy and put our finger in the dam and stop you from losing deals, and stop you from losing revenue. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've been there. I've had deals die right at the closing table. $74,000, $106,000, life-changing money. And it can go up in smoke just like that. It really can. So if you don't have the right people handling these deals for you, it'll go sideways very, very quickly. So my good friend Alex, so we were talking earlier about some people whose businesses rapidly changed. So Alex and his partner had a very big company. They're out of the Pacific Northwest. So when they came to us, you'll see at the bottom there, he said they were doing $97,000 a month in revenue, which, let's stop there. All right. First off, that's an incredible number. There was times when I could not imagine doing $97,000 a month. Let's be real. Okay. But big company, lots of people. The way that they were set up was the person who sold the deal was also trying to do the transactions. So now they're selling their deals, but now they're stopping, and they got to go, randomly wherever they're at in the country. They got to start finding title companies. Then that person's calling the seller, calling the buyer, gathering documents, doing all these things. So what are they not doing? They're not selling their next deal. Right? You see the problem? This is like, let's say you own the, we're all old people here. We've all been around for a little bit. Let's say you own the Chicago Bulls in the late 80s, right? And Michael Jordan is on your team, and you go down and you're like, hey, Michael, I know we don't have a game on Tuesday. Would you mind going up to accounting and cutting a couple of checks for us, right? You're taking your star players off the team. So once they hired us, you'll see, he said we were doing $97,000 a month in revenue, and EZ was a huge reason. By the end of May, just a couple months later, they were able to jump to $750,000 in revenue. Why? I wasn't writing his contracts for him. I was not selling his deals for them. But all of a sudden, his team now was focused. And this is what we're talking about when we say we're going to give you your time back, so that whether it's you or your team, now you're focused on doing the things that matter, moving the needle. And I would say 7Xing your company over the course of 3 months is moving the needle, right? $750,000 in revenue. And their biggest month ever was 811. That's a lot of income. So what's different about us? right? Again, we've talked about this. We are the only company that can serve you in all 50 states who's actually closed deals for their clients in all 50 states and done all transaction types. All of our team is here in the office, right? Everybody shows up here. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. East Ridge, Tennessee actually is a little town that we're in, but all of our coordinators are located here. They come into the office. They're here all day. And their goal, my goal for you, is a completely just turnkey experience, right? Done for you. You're literally going to drag and drop your contract into our system, and we are going to take it from there. And once it's assigned to a title company, it's going to be assigned to one coordinator who is going to track that deal from beginning to end, right? No situations where it's handed off from one person to the other. So one person is going to be talking to your seller, one person is going to be talking to your buyer, one person is going to be navigating this thing through the title process to make sure that it closes just as quickly as possible. And this is going to remove that need for you to learn about transactions and quick Googling what monument of title is and all these crazy things that you're getting from your title company, right? We're going to hold your hand through this process so that we can get your deals done just as quickly as possible. And that was something that Corey found that we were able to do for him. Corey Geary was one of the biggest novations coaches in the country a couple of years ago. He's one of the ones who really brought it out to the forefront. But Corey, he hired us to come in and, lots of great things. He said, he was using Easy for about a year when he wrote this. Not only do we understand how to do novations, but creative finance deals. But of course, we find title companies in every market across the country that understand how to structure these deals, and we've made his life pain-free. But here's the cool thing. I want you to think about this. So we were able to eliminate 2 coordinators that he had in his office. One was like a file handler, one was a coordinator, but that was $80,000. So think about that. If you could put $80,000 back into your marketing, what would that do for your company? Well, let's do some basic math. We know it's every contract on average costs you between $3,000 or $4,000 to get. So if you put $80,000 in, that's what, 20 contracts? 20 contracts at almost 20,000. So a little less than 400,000. So by outsourcing, he was able to take that money, put it back into his company, and generate another probably $300,000 to $400,000 in revenue. Right? Think of how that turns the needle of your business. How does that change your business over the course of a year? This is what we're talking about. I get it, transactions maybe not the sexiest thing, but if you want operational efficiency, if you want to run your business like a business at a very high level, then these are the things that are going to help you do that. So again, benefits and features of us, we are incredibly easy to onboard, super easy. We're going to give you a link here in the chat in just a minute, and you can book a call with us and we can spend a bunch more time talking about your business and how we can specifically work for you. But literally at a fraction of the cost, we can come in and be a part of your team. And really, honestly, we will make you look like a bigger and far more professional team by having us do all of those calls and all that correspondence with your sellers and buyers. We have one of the things that was really important to me when we started this company, because I feel like I've been lied to by so many title companies over the course of 20 years, is we created a portal or CRM, call it whatever you want, where you can log in at any time. There's real-time updates. So if it's 2:00 on a Tuesday morning and you're in a panic about, oh my God, what's going on with 123 Main Street? Is my deal being taken care of? Yeah. You can log right in and see literally up to the minute where your coordinator, who they're talking to, what they've done, what they're still waiting on, and see that progress is being made, so that you don't have to worry that somebody is not here taking care of your deal. So dedicated coordinator, in-house title company. We offer transactional funding to you for less than 1%, which transactional funding is going to get very important here in the next couple of years as the market changes and as the laws change. We always access to hard money if you need it. And of course, as somebody who's done this for 22 years, I want to provide you with all of the the people that I've worked with over the years to help grow my business, because we don't wholesale anymore. So I definitely want to pass that on to you so that you can help build your business, right? So whether it's the CRM that we used, or the hard money person, or the person who goes out and takes photos, that company, or bookkeepers, whoever it is, you definitely have access to all of that. So what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get you on that elevator up to the next level just as quickly as we possibly can, because the more deals you do, honestly, the better it's going to be for me, because we're all going to make money together. And ultimately, this is it, right? We want you to have We want you to have your dream life. And it's different for everybody. I get it. It may not be private jets and, you know, houses in the mountains, right? Maybe it's, you know, I want to go volunteer for 3 weeks in the summer and build houses in Honduras. Or like I said, I want to go be able to leave every day at 2 o'clock and go pick up my daughter from school. Whatever it is, what is that reason that you got into real estate? It wasn't to be doing title paperwork and running around and trying to, you know, herd people for closings and, oh, you know, I need your divorce decree and, you know, all of that stuff. No, you got into this business for the freedom, right? That was why real estate is so attractive to everybody. So how can we get you there? That's always our question, right? And ezREI closings, you know, if you remember anything from today, we'll help you do more deals. We'll help you make more money. And that's going to be more time and freedom for you, right? To go do the things that you want to do. So kind of to wrap it up, here's what I want you to think about. I had you write that down earlier, the average assignment fee, $18,643. If all we did was helped you save one deal a quarter, one deal, 4 deals a year, would that be worth it? Right? That's almost $76,000. Would that change your business? Would that change your life? Would that be a cool vacation that you could go on? Oh yeah, of course it would. Would that be some money that you could donate to a charity that would really move the needle for somebody? If all we did was helped you save one deal every 3 months, not even one deal a month, which we definitely do for people, but just one every 3 months, would that change things for you? If the answer is yes, then 100% you should book a call here and let's have a chat, right? So, but what if it was free? What if we could do all that and it was free, which is ridiculous, right? So, you know, one of the things I sat down is I'm like, well, how can I make this just too difficult for you to say no? Right? Like you have to be that person who's like, nope, I'm completely uncoachable and I am not going to let anybody tell me how to run my business better. I'm not going to listen to somebody who's done this, done over 1,600 wholesale deals and closed over 3,500 deals for other people. Tell me how to do this better. But what if it was free? Cool. Book a call with us. I'd love to show you how, you know, all the money that you're going to pay us, and we work on a monthly fee, but how you can take that and offset it by charging it to your end buyer and actually turn your transactions into a profit center. So not only you're going to grow your business, you're going to do more deals, you're going to make more money, you're going to have more freedom, but I can turn this into another profit center for you. And again, we've done that for client after client after client. So, you know, you know, if that's what you're interested in, if you want to grow your business, then I'd love to have a chat with you. So, so apparently this QR code is the wrong one because I didn't listen and I uploaded the wrong one. Stephanie, are you here? I think we're gonna.
I'll jump in.
I am. The link is in the chat there for you.
We did put it in the chat. So guys, I'm so sorry about that. So I'm actually gonna stop sharing so nobody links to the wrong one there. That's my fault, guys. Sorry, I came in. I don't know if you can tell. I've got a little sinus cold. I was a little under the weather today. So appreciate you listening to me. But yeah, so guys, you have any questions or anything I can answer for you here real quick? I love answering title and transactions questions. And if you have any questions about what we do, if I wasn't clear on anything, I'd love to answer them.
If you don't mind, I'm going to jump in. David, this
Sure.
is really neat. And if there's anybody, we could use the word a lot this morning, but if there's anybody that can make transaction coordination sexy, you've just done it. So no, this is really neat. Wow. And I'm saying wow from an investor's perspective. So wow, kudos to you. Tim did have a question, and Tim's question, he said, what about short sales? Are short sales included?
Yeah, no, we don't do the short sale for you, but we have someone on our team that we do a lot of work with, Nicole, and she is amazing at short sales. And we would refer you, you know, that part of the deal, the negotiation with the bank over to her. But for us, we do also simultaneously stay in that deal and keep good communication with your seller. So when I was talking earlier, great question, by the way, when I was talking earlier about, so many times the title company will come in and say, oh, you can't do this, right? Well, there's a little bit more to that story that I didn't tell you. So this was happening over and over and over again. And I was getting so frustrated. One time I went to the title company to Dr. No, Jeremy, and he's like, nope, can't do this. And I'm like, dude, come on. I was just at this woman's house and I told her we'd get this deal closed. There's got to be something we can do. And he's just staring there looking at me. And I just wanted to go over the desk, but I knew that wasn't a good idea to punch out the attorney. So I'm like, Jeremy, there's got to be something we can do. What would you do? And he's like, oh, well, I guess if you did this, 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 and this, and got these two people to sign this, I guess we could close it. I'm like, man, are you kidding me? Are you telling me all these deals I've been throwing away, there was actually a way to close them? And he's like, well, some of them. I'm like, man, that's not cool. One, I told people I was here to help them. And two, it's costing me a ton of money. So what I learned in that exchange, right, was asking better questions, right? So even though the first answer from a title company, maybe we can't do this, right? Maybe they can't do it because they don't have the experience, but 75, 80% of the time, there is a way to navigate around bankruptcies and, probate and quit claims, suit for quiet title, all of those different things, right? So, but sometimes there's not, right? And when there's not, we will tell you, hey, we've exhausted every single thing. This one is going to have to be a suit for quiet title. Hey, let me connect your seller. We will connect them with an attorney. And, even though it may take 6 months, we'll come back and go, hey, let's do this. Get your seller on an extension, get your buyer on an extension, but we will stay in this deal with you and hold everybody's hand until it's done. So again, you don't have to worry about it. Go on to your next deal. Right? We'll make sure we're touching base with that seller every week. We'll make sure we're touching base with your buyer, and we'll keep that deal in motion. You go get the next 10 deals, right? So one, this deal won't get lost. It will close sooner or later. And then in the meantime, you're able to get these other deals because you're not having to focus and do all of the kind of the admin stuff. So do we do short sales? Absolutely. We do them all the time. Same thing with foreclosures and all that stuff. Do we personally stop the foreclosure? No, that's not what we do. We'll do the paperwork, but we can connect them with an attorney, a bankruptcy attorney, a probate attorney, whatever it is, because we have a huge network after doing 3,500 deals all over the country. So great question.
Wonderful, David. Really, really neat. I don't know if anybody else has a question for David by any chance.
Hopefully you guys click that link. And again, what we'll do is I opened up a bunch of spots in our for our sales team. So my schedule and their schedule, so that if you guys want to go ahead and book a call, what we'll do during that call, right? It's just really a consultation. Let's talk about what you do. What did you do in 2020? What was your, what was the volume you did? But what was your goal coming into 2024, right? We're almost 1/4 of the way through the year. Was it to do more deals? Was it to, just spend less time working, right? How can we help you, right? Let's really we can have a conversation about your individual business and talk about how we can help you. And if we're not the right fit or there's something else that you need, again, our team be happy to point you in the right direction and see that, that we want you to succeed. That's everything that we do here, right? We're here for your success.
Well, David, thank you so much. This was really, really, really informative. I really appreciate it. What you're doing is super, super valuable. And boy, I've seen how you've been able to help people scale, their business in a big way. So I thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. And guys, reach out to David, speak to him, speak to his team, and I think he'll really bring a lot of value to you and your business. And with that said, I don't know if David, you want to just another few words before we wrap up, and we'll call it a day.
That's it, Patrick. I really appreciate you having me on today, and hopefully we'll talk to all of you soon.
Very well. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.